Goombas.
Salutations. Bonjour. Hola.
Bonsoir.
What'd you say?
Bonsoir.
What language?
I don't know what that one is, actually. I just know it's a greeting.
Ni hao.
That one was a little... I don't know about that one.
Guten Tag.
Ooh, I like that one. You really hit that. Do that again.
Welcome to episode 6 of Gamer Goombas and Nintendo podcast. I'm your host, Marcos Riggs, and joining me today is fellow co-host, Brendan Padover.
Who has
Brendan,
been resurrected from the dead. Luke Perrette, unfortunately, will not be able to make it this week. So he has decided to unkill me and let me perform in his stead.
Yep. Yeah, so, Brendan, how does it feel to be back alive?
Pretty good. Pretty good to be playing Smash again, honestly. That was the thing I was missing most when I was dead. Like, you just... I can't down B someone, get the rage, and then just spike them with Incineroar.
Oh, okay. You're still maining Incineroar, I see.
Oh, yeah. Trash tier player, trash tier character. Let's go, baby.
He's not trash. I mean, this is the thing I hate about Smash. Not to go on a tangent, but whenever I choose a character, they're like, "Oh, that shitty character, Dr. Mario. Ooh, Mr. Game & Watch. Ooh." Like, bro, this is the thing. Everybody has their own way of playing. Everybody, different strokes, different folks. Feel me? If you go with
Absolutely.
Incineroar, then you
No,
go with Incineroar.
I don't mean that Incineroar is bad, because like I actually play pretty well with Incineroar, and like I definitely feel like I don't know, my playstyle just aligns with him. It's just a very toxic playstyle, and I do feel that a lot of the time that the players that are typically considered S tier just so happen to be the players that are winning the tournament right now because one incredible player is maining him.
Right.
You know? Like Joker, for instance. I don't think Joker is as good as a lot of people make him out to be.
Yeah, I'm trash with Joker.
Exactly. I feel like he's a pretty overrated character, but because we got some players out here, not to be mentioned, are winning tournaments, people think he's God himself.
Who?
Zero. Isn't Zero? Doesn't Zero main Joker?
Isn't Zero like a...
That's why we're not naming him.
Oh! I didn't want to accuse anybody of wrong.
Yeah, we're just not gonna mention anything. We'll just bleep all of that out. Just play music over that.
Yeah, facts. We're not gonna mention that half of the Smash community touches little kids. No, we're not gonna do that.
Do they? Yeah, I didn't know it was touching. I thought it was just looking, but not defending it. Not defending it. Definitely messed up. Deserved jail time. Just not as much jail time? Question mark.
Yeah, so this is episode 6 of Gamer Goombas. I'm glad that we're still keeping this going, And, I haven't touched base with you in a while, Brendan. How you been?
I've been pretty good. Semester's coming to an end. Finals are picking up. Looking forward to taking my DATs pretty soon. My MCATs for dental school. Not gnarly, fun, but we're getting there.
Yeah, we had a conversation before, and I'm pretty hopeful for Brendan's future in the dentist industry. So y'all better watch out for that.
Yeah,
if y'all
you're
got
ever looking
canals,
for a cleaning in 10 to 20 years, let me know.
Facts. 10 to 20 years, that's a long time for human existence to still be alive.
That is true. Assuming that we don't get absolutely murked by COVID-20. Come to me, yeah.
I want an alien abduction of Earth. I just want everyone to just turn into aliens and then we get.
What are you saying, bro?
Other than this school shit, how you been down
though? Pretty good. Pretty good, actually, yeah. Just chilling. It's good to have everyone back home. Not that I'm, like, hanging out with anyone, but, like...
Right.
I don't know, now that people are back home again, they have more free time, so I've been playing chess with some of our friends back home because they're not hanging out with school friends anymore. Which is good.
Right. You gotta love chess.
Chess is a good game.
It might be one of the best, to be honest.
The Goombalini, who isn't a Goombalini, but gets most frequently doxxed by the Goombalinis, our friend Spencer, is quickly rising in chess. He's getting good? Really, really into it. He's getting really, really into it. He just started playing like a few days ago, but he's like going hard.
I need to match up with Spencer in chess one day, then, for sure.
Oh yeah, you should. He's just starting to play, but like he's always looking to like build. So just text him. He'll definitely play.
Yeah, word. So Brendan, during this leave of absence with Gamer Goombas, there's been things that have happened in the world, Thanksgiving, giving thanks for shit,
Thanksgiving was certainly weird this year too.
for sure. So I want to
You
bring up the topic of the show. What are some things that we're grateful for? It could be anything regarding Nintendo, regarding video games. It don't gotta be that. Like you could be grateful for something else, but let's just give maybe two or three things that we're grateful for.
do you want to start or should I?
I'll start with my first appreciation, and that would be Mario 3D All Stars. And
There
now
we go.
I know this is a very controversial collection because of its anti-consumer, whether it be like the $60 price tag, whether it be reducing the collection down to like its bare bone necessities, whether it be the limited timeline for its, you know, opportunity to get. But I don't know, this year has been kind of poopy. I mean, with everything going on, but just with Nintendo, like I wasn't. We're gonna talk about this later on with Animal Crossing, but like I'm not the biggest fan of the Animal Crossing series. I love New Horizons, obviously. It's a great departure from the series. Not even departure, but it's just like an evolution of what Animal Crossing's been. But it's just like recounting the year. It's like there's not much after that. I mean, Paper Mario did come out, Origami King. I didn't touch it, and I really wanted to, but I just never got the chance to. And so to hear these rumors that Mario was, the 35th anniversary was happening, but I just didn't believe the rumors because it seemed too good to be true, right? 64, Sunshine, Galaxy, all on the Switch. I'm like, this is what I've wanted since the Switch's inception.
Yeah.
And just to have that come out, just for me to play Sunshine and finally beat it for the first time. It's just it's like the silver lining in this 2020 for me personally. I don't know about you, but yeah, I'm appreciative for Mario, that dude. Mario. You know that's his last name?
Is it actually?
Yeah, Luigi's Luigi Mario. I swear to God.
That can't be true. Like I get the Mario, but like
It's Luigi Mario.
that's so dumb. That's so
Yeah,
dumb.
it's really dumb.
They did Luigi 30 because he's already the secondary character. Then to just give him the last name Mario on top of it,
Right.
they were just out for his neck.
But the thing that I want to know is like what's this alternative universe where Mario is like the second character and Luigi's like the mainstay of Nintendo and Luigi's everywhere. If you hear Mario's voice or if you see that face, so recognizable. He's like Mickey Mouse, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
What if Luigi was that?
Yeah, it's true. Luigi, like, while I do like Luigi, he just does have like a second character design, like the
Right.
tall, lanky. It's
Yep.
like while it is like cool looking, it's not like as iconic as like the Mario logo. It just doesn't even translate as well. Like you can't put like everyone even knows from like the 2D outline of like just Mario's face who it is, but like Luigi's
Right.
is not as clean of a design.
That's pretty true. Brendan, what are you thankful for?
Honestly, it's been like a long year and it's been really tough, but like
Yeah.
what I keep thinking of is like how like awesome it is that like while like COVID-19 is a horrible thing, like how well like we definitely haven't handled it as a society very well, but like
No.
how well people are getting through it. Like it's impressive. Like I have such a great base of support and like of like friends and family and like my girlfriend Laura has been absolutely fantastic through all of this. Like she works in a hospital, she's a nurse. Like that shit's crazy
No
for her.
way.
Yeah, she is.
Wait. Laura works at a hospital.
Yeah, she's a nurse in training. She's getting her clinicals done. She's grinding it out. They actually tried to have her do COVID testing for her clinicals this semester, but she refused. It's like it's crazy that she's just out there at all. Like people are literally just tanking through this, and honestly, like I know everyone's not as fortunate to have like as great of a network of support as I do, but like I know like everyone at least has like one or two people that they can call on, and that's just kind of amazing that like you have that in such tough times.
Listen, bro, Homo sapiens sapiens, they find a way, you know?
Facts.
The thing that I'm kind of questioning about my last pick was I was trying to joke around with not even joke around, but I'm doing this silly stupid Mario 3D All-Stars while you're like actually being sincere and talking about what you're really grateful for. I respect that.
No, but like, I mean, it's everyone's personal thing. Like, if that's what made you happy this year, be grateful for it. Like, that's amazing. Like, it's
No,
what
yeah.
brings you joy. You know, like I just had that thought, and it's not better by any means. It's personal.
Oh,
You know,
it's so much more thoughtful and sincere.
I mean, I guess, but like, just because like mine was like more like thoughtful, like in regards to humanity doesn't mean it's like better. Yours probably made you like, well, mine is like correct for me. Yours made you just as happy as mine did, and that's all that matters at the end of the day, you know? And that's the great part about like Nintendo and video games. Like it doesn't matter like whether other people like say it's a waste of time. It's about like the personal joy it brings you. If it makes you feel satisfied and happy and gives you that sense of growth. That's
You're a
all.
well-spoken individual, Brendan.
Thanks, kid.
I love you.
Okay. Moving on.
Pay it back.
All right. So we're gonna start with the news now.
Yeah, fuck it, why not? Yeah, let's head on to our nerdy section of the news. So number one on the news list today is another bullshit lawsuit. Not even bullshit. It's just all right. Let's dig into this. Nintendo hit another class action lawsuit today with the Switch Joy-Con drift. Nintendo is already dealing with a couple of class action lawsuits in the US over Joy-Con drift. Now, there's another complaint being filed. As spotted by Polygon, the lawsuit was filed today in a Seattle court. It contains a technical breakdown completed by an expert who indicates that the problem occurs due to wear on the interior pads of the controller. Lawyers for the plaintiff say Nintendo has not been appropriately informing consumers despite being aware of the situation. The complaint mentions consumer advocacy investigations in France, Belgium, and Switzerland. Nintendo president Shuntaro Furukawa also previously apologized for issues regarding the Joy-Cons. A minor went forward with today's lawsuit after personally experiencing Joy-Con drift. This is the interesting part of this story. Like, we get a Joy-Con drift, another lawsuit, yeah. But the issues started 3 months after buying a Switch system, which were initially taken care of Nintendo. But the controllers failed for a second time several months later. The minor then had the controllers repaired again, though for a $40 fee. Ultimately, the plaintiff went through 3 pairs of Joy-Con. The lawsuit calls out unlawful and unfair conduct against Nintendo in addition to customer fraud. Brendan, what do you make of this?
I'm kind of glad it's happening. I really am a fan of companies that like intentionally make other products and accessories to go with theirs obsolete. So I don't really like that Nintendo like intentionally bans other controllers, especially when their controllers just aren't made properly. Because it's kind of ridiculous. They force us to buy their controllers, intentionally stop any other alternatives from working when we already paid for those, and then their controllers don't live up to the expected time frame. Like it's ridiculous. They're price gouging for controllers. They're not releasing Nintendo. Nintendo's not releasing GameCube controllers except at limited intervals to keep the price high. And then like
Right.
any other controllers just break immediately, and you really can't find any good alternatives besides Nintendo. It's kind of absurd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of third-party alternatives that you can get, but like we said before in previous episodes, like the Power A controllers, like there's faulty stuff going on with those. Like both of my sticks broke with that controller immediately. Like once I let my brother have hands on it, it was a wrap. But yeah, I feel like these lawsuits do bring attention to, like, they do make Nintendo like question and second guess like their, I don't know, just their way of pricing, way of delivering the Joy-Cons, you know? Like the Joy-Cons are such an essential part of the Switch's success just from the fact that you could take them off of the console while it's charging. You know why the Joy-Cons are like such a innovative and creative way of playing. But
Mhm.
big old but the durability of these controllers is just not up to par. Like we've never seen this with another console, like their
Yeah,
mainstay controllers like that. I don't know. It's like the
absolutely.
red ring of death with Xbox.
Hmm. For sure. But like, it's kind of like ridiculous because whereas Xbox had that issue in an older model and they really have improved with it since, and it's really not an issue anymore. We've seen that like although Nintendo games typically do require button mashing and motion controls are particularly sensitive, we've seen consoles like the Wii make controllers that last for actual decades. Like I know that my Wii controllers still work from my original Nintendo Wii to this
Yep.
day, and that's phenomenal. So it's definitely not out of their reach to create such controllers. They're just really it means they're either like design is just bad, which it means they're not investing enough, or it means they're actually just skimping on production itself, which is equally bad for the prices they're charging.
Right, right. Yeah, another thing with this lawsuit, I feel like this minor or like the person who's bringing this up on the court, I feel like this is the type of person that would like switch their order in a restaurant and expect to not pay or something. Like I feel like this is like, not, don't get me wrong, this is a good thing to do, and I really feel for the person going through 3 Joy-Cons in a matter of like months. But I feel like this happens to a lot of people, especially those who use their Switch on a consistent basis. And I feel like those people are just, I don't know, they've bought the Pro controller maybe, or they've maybe resorted to a different alternative, but they're not gonna go to up in front of a court and like sue Nintendo for it, you know?
Yeah, no, it's
I
definitely
don't
true. There is something odd about the plaintiff doing this. Most people wouldn't go ahead and do it, but I feel like it is an important precedent that needs to be set by someone. So I'm
know.
glad someone's out there doing it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, enough of all this Joy-Con drift. Speaking of Joy-Con drift, my shit's fucked up. Like I
Is
don't,
it?
it's unplayable now. It's unplayable.
Damn.
I don't I
That's
don't know what to do.
you gonna get new ones, or you gonna try to get yours repaired?
I'm not getting repaired. I'm not getting new Joy-Cons. I'm not getting repaired ones. I might just resort to the Pro controller. I don't know. I mean, this is the thing though. If I wanted to play handheld, I would need to get new controllers, right? Because my sticks
Yeah,
are
that's
fucked.
true.
I don't know, Nintendo. I might sue y'all too. Psych. But
We
moving
love
on
you
from
too much.
yeah, facts. Moving on from that though, let's go on to number 2 with Game of the Year nominees. So, Game of the Year is a weird label. It's a weird type of discussion, and I love this type of discussion for many reasons, but it also really doesn't matter, and it's also a very subjective type of conversation. But, you
Hmm.
know, the games industry is only growing, and Jeff Keighley is doing his thing with the Game Awards. Like they're trying to make their like the Oscars or the Emmys with the games. You know what I mean? With the Game
Yeah,
Awards. I don't know why I said
for
the
sure.
games. Yeah. So the Game Award 2020 nominees have been announced. For Game of the Year, let's just go down the list. Why don't we? Starting off with Animal Crossing New Horizons. Then we got Doom Eternal.
See, that
Final
right there, though, just those first two, I think is a
Yeah.
perfect example of like, how do you even compare those two games? You know, like, how
Right,
do you
right.
compare which of those games is better. Better's such a weird word to use here. It's just there's no other word you can even use to compare them though, which is just absurd.
Yeah. Another thing I want to say before keep going down the list is that I really despise award shows like with a passion.
Oh,
And
really?
it's for the fact that like I'm aware and I commend those like creators for getting like some sort of
Recognition.
mention and some applause for what they've done and what they've been able to create. But I feel like some of those snubs are like it's like a popularity contest at the end of the day, like
It really is.
who really like I don't know. I like I said before, it's a subjective conversation. And like you said, like Doom Eternal versus Animal Crossing New Horizons. Like what are you basing this off of? Gameplay? What are you basing this off of? Like like the zeitgeist of
Obviously, shooter capability.
right, exactly.
Like,
I don't know. But after Doom Eternal, we got Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghosts of Tsushima, Hades, and The Last of Us Part 2. That's for Game of the Year of 2020. What do you think's gonna win it?
um, while I don't think that this game was the most groundbreaking game of the year, I feel like I have to say Animal Crossing. Like it really was just the timing of it dropping right when quarantine started and providing like almost like a pseudo sense of like interaction with other people and like the ability to develop and ability to like spend so much time in a game when we were first put in lockdown. I feel like that
Right.
like that dynamic of it and how like massively it sold to so many different demographics. It was enjoyed by so many people. I feel like it has to be that game.
Right. Going down the list again, The Last of Us Part 2, that definitely had its fans and it definitely had its haters too. Like that's a divisive game. Hades, I feel like this is like the indie sleeper of the Game of the Year list. Like people aren't going to give its I mean, the press might give its love, but I don't know about all the players who haven't played Hades. They're like, "Oh, what is that?" You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um
absolutely. It just doesn't have that same like magnetic appeal that Animal Crossing had, which like although it's definitely a good game, like the plot of it was groundbreaking compared to a lot of other video games. It really did try to tell a story. It's just not gonna.
mm,
It's hard to compete with a game that had the appeal of Animal Crossing.
right, right. Going up from that, we got Ghost of Tsushima. That definitely had its zeitgeist moment, but it definitely wasn't as significant as Animal Crossing New Horizons. Final Fantasy VII Remake, that came out earlier in the year, and I feel like with those type of games, they definitely the conversation definitely seems to die out. Like the earlier, I mean the newest release seems to get like the most hype and the most sense of like, oh, we this is new in our minds, so we're still like high off of that experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And Doom Eternal, like I've heard good things about that game with its gameplay mechanics and all of that, just evolving on the first Doom in 2016. But I gotta say, I didn't really hear a lot about this game this year. Like this
Yeah,
came and went, right?
I really like during like the first like month of it dropping. Everyone was talking about like how much fun it is, like how cool it is, like the mechanics of it, the looks of it, and, like the graphics in the game were like phenomenal, especially like giving like actual 3D characters to make these well-known like 2D monsters. Like that's so cool. And
Right.
like building on that and like you said, it really did have that hype. And then I don't think I've seen or heard of anyone playing that game in a hot minute.
Mm-hmm. And rounding it all out with Animal Crossing, that is the game that stays in the conversation with gaming with this year, you know. I mean, that game is definitely the best selling game of this year. Maybe not because of Call of Duty and all that, and maybe next gen titles like Miles Morales or something, but that has over like 25 million copies sold. And
Yeah,
that's not a number to like scoff at. That is fucking insane. Like I don't understand. I do understand the fact that COVID has something to do with it, how everyone was locked indoors, and just that sense of escapism, like you said, the sense of, meeting someone on their island and just running around and having fun. That game is just not like you can't compare that game to all the other ones. It's like the one that stands out to me too.
For sure.
I don't know. We'll see when this. I think the Game Awards is the 10th of December, which is kind of stupid. Like, why wouldn't you want to do that when the year ends? Actually, you know what I mean?
I feel like they don't want to take the hype away from the games dropping for Christmas. I feel like that's the problem. You
Right.
get to then, and then you're including Christmas drops, which is just like not.
I mean, the years kind of slows down after Black Friday. Like, there's not much
That's true.
releasing other than the biggest game of the year, which is debatedly Cyberpunk 2077,
Oh my
which is
god, I almost
which
forgot
is
about Cyberpunk.
coming out on the day of the Game Awards. So I
That's
don't know.
crazy.
But I feel like that's a big snub. Like that game just doesn't have a chance to, whatever.
Oh yeah, no chance. Not at all.
There's a bunch of other categories, but Nintendo seems to there's not really apparent in a lot of other categories besides best family games. So let's go through them. We got Animal Crossing again, which is of course a great family game for anyone who's like I got it for my brother for his birthday, and he hasn't dived into it, but he still wants to play it with me and stuff. We got Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time. I don't know if that's a good family game. It's kind of hard from what I've heard.
Which one
Uh,
was it?
Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time.
Oh, I haven't played that one actually.
I heard a lot of good things about it. I like platformers, but I never touched it.
Crash is just such a classic. I love it.
Right, right. The next game is Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout. Have you ever played Fall Guys, Brendan?
No, I haven't. I really feel like that shouldn't win. It was so big for 2 weeks, and then it died so fast. That has to be, I think, the fastest rise and fall of any video game I've ever seen.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. Like playing it when it first came out on PlayStation Plus for free, like it was definitely like a moment in time, and everyone was playing it. But like you said, like it seemed to fall off fairly quickly. Like after its first season, like with the battle pass and all that shit. Like after it just kept evolving. Like I don't know, it just that sort of gameplay and that sort of you know just the chance that game has. Like there's a lot of variabilities that depend on your success with that game, and I feel like a lot of players don't appreciate that. Like it's
Yeah.
definitely a goofy game for streamers and all that, but I don't know, I definitely fell off quicker than the rest of people.
Yeah.
The third game, Mario Kart, no, the fourth game, I'm sorry. Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. That definitely has potential to take the game for best family just because of all of its quirks and capabilities with younger audiences, you know what I mean? And older audiences too. Like growing up with Nintendo, right? Like there's this 40-year-old dad out there who loved Mario on the NES. Never played a game after that, right? Now he has a
Mhm.
kid and his kid loves Mario. And now they see Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. Like the technology is like mind blowing. Have you ever seen that in action, bro?
I saw one streamer playing with it once ever, and honestly, like I think it's just a test. It's kind of just like Nintendo showing off almost
Right.
what like the Switch is capable of. Because no other that's like basically an entire toy in and of itself. Like you would
Yeah.
typically buy like a race car with a camera on it like that for a kid as an entire birthday present, and now to sell it as an accessory to a console, that's just
Yeah.
crazy.
For sure. Like
Weird
this
time. Weird time.
yeah, the technology that Mario Kart Live. I hate that name too, Mario Kart Live. Like why don't you just call it Mario Kart Home Circuit? I guess the live
Yeah.
part has to do with the camera and all that, but I don't know. But yeah, if I was like we said before when this came out, like if I was a little kid, this would be my dream. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's definitely like a really cool thing that like I feel like a lot of kids are really gonna enjoy
Right.
because like it just is like so, it's like the game that you open up on Christmas and then you like show it off to all your cousins, and like you all take turns playing it because it's like such a cool toy.
Yeah, right. The next game is Minecraft Dungeons. I don't got much to say about that. I kind of forgot this existed.
I
This
did
is
too.
a this is a dungeon crawler, top-down Minecraft game, reminiscent to like Diablo or something like that, just with like a Minecraft skin on it. I guess that has family value because of Minecraft's name and then, like the weight that that holds. But yeah, I haven't heard anything from that game. So
I feel
yeah.
like it really shouldn't even have been called Minecraft. They kind of just slapped a Minecraft skin on a dungeon crawler. I've watched a
Right.
bit of gameplay, and like they have Minecraft skins and stuff, but it doesn't like resemble Minecraft, you know? Like at
Yeah.
least like in like the addition of Steve to Smash, like it resembles Minecraft, you know?
Oh yeah, it's very good with like nodding to that series. Not even series, but that Minecraft game. Like it's definitely a passion project for Sakurai to do that. But with Minecraft Dungeons, like yeah, it doesn't really seem like it seems like a cash grab at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely a game that people worked on and I'm sure they're proud of that game and I don't really want to hate on this and it really seems like I am, but it just I don't know. The last game on the list, Paper Mario: The Origami King. Like I said before, this game I really wanted to play it, but I haven't gotten the chance to. I'm not sure if this game is suitable for younger audiences, like a family game. Like this is an RPG at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like
Is it?
yeah, the Paper Mario series is always geared towards like the RPG side of things.
Dude, I honestly like I haven't played it in so long I barely remember it. All I can remember was like the first time where you had to flip the camera. It took me like 30 minutes to figure out how to do it. That's all I remember of that game.
Yeah, I feel like Mario Kart Live, Home Circuit, or Animal Crossing, those two definitely have the best chance of winning Best Adventure Game. Other than that, though, I mean, Animal Crossing is up for Best Multiplayer, but that's about it for Switch games developed by Nintendo solely. So that kind of says something about what Nintendo had to bring for this year, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And there also has to be something said about COVID and maybe there was something more to be had, but shit just didn't end up like that's the way the cookie crumbled, I guess.
Yeah.
Are you happy with Nintendo's output this year?
It hasn't been great, but like there have been like it's like the little things. It's like the expansion to Pokemon, the revival of like the old Mario games. Like they're not like dropping anything groundbreaking, but given the circumstances and like obviously like with how much production had to have been harmed, I felt like they did a pretty good job. Not
Right.
ideal by any means, but given the circumstances, not the worst.
Right, right. I feel like Animal Crossing had a lot to do with Nintendo's success this year. Like it definitely carried for a while.
Oh,
Pa-
absolutely.
Paper Mario was a nice like little side dish that Nintendo just put out randomly. Like I remember that one trailer that they just put out on Twitter one day and everyone went crazy for like a week or something. And then it came out eventually like a month or a weeks later. But I didn't really hear a lot afterwards. Super Mario 3D All Stars definitely was a leg up for Nintendo, and Age of Calamity, which recently released. And I'm pissed that Luke isn't on here. So yeah, Luke beat
He
that game.
grinded that.
He beat, I think he beat it in one day, which is
27 hours.
mind
He
blowing.
played
Yeah,
27 hours straight, all streamed live on twitch.tv/tippytown.
yeah, that's fucking crazy. We're gonna get his impressions the next time he's on Gamer Goombas, but until then, number 3 on the news, speaking of Age of Calamity, it surpassed 3 million copies sold.
Did it actually? That's
Is
absurd, actually. I didn't think it was going to sell that well. That's phenomenal.
right, right.
With
This is
how
a
little promotion they did for it,
mhm.
that's really impressive.
It's the best-selling title in the Warriors franchise to date. So for comparison, January 2015, the original Hyrule Warriors surpassed 1 million units sold. Like this is a niche type of franchise. Like Warriors and Muso games aren't really in the limelight a lot for the gaming industry, and to see that Age of Calamity surpassing 3 million already, like it came out on the 20th and it's the 29th. Like, stop playing with Hyrule Warriors.
That's insane.
Yeah. Do you plan on getting this game?
I'm definitely gonna get it. I'm waiting till after I take the DAT because I want to not have that distraction beforehand.
Yeah,
But I really am looking forward to playing it.
that makes sense. Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna cop it, to be honest, personally, but I'm glad that it sold 3 million. I'm glad that people are enjoying it. Uh, yeah, we're gonna hear our impressions, what Luke has to say about it next time he's on. But yeah, that's pretty cool. How Age of Calamity is doing well, and that has something to say about Nintendo's year too. Like this was definitely a surprise. I did not expect this game to like come out at all. I didn't expect this game to exist to begin with,
Yeah.
and for it to
No, it
sell.
really just popped out of nowhere.
Right. Good for you, Nintendo. Good for you. What is it? Koei Tecmo? Yeah, Koei Tecmo. Those heads over there. Speaking of games coming out of nowhere, number 4 on the news list, we got Neo: The World Ends with You announced for Switch. Are you familiar with that World Ends with You series, Brendan?
Not at all, actually.
Okay, so this game is a DS game originally. So it's a very stylized, it's like an RPG for sure. This game is set in Japan. It's like I think it's in the Akihabara district, if I'm not mistaken. But this game was definitely restricted to the DS's capabilities, that hardware. It did have a re-release on Switch, but the thing is that like the combat made it was definitely centered and geared towards that DS gameplay of like using the stylus and like having two
Yeah.
screens to see. It's not really like a one-to-one
Doesn't
uh
translate well.
port. Yeah, I heard mixed feelings with that port to Switch. But it was originally like a 2D top-down game. So with this Neo World Ends with You, it seems to be going fully 3D. It looks really stylized. It looks like a crazy mix of like Persona 5 with like, oh, what's that game from Sega?
Sonic.
No, no, no. It's Jet Set Radio. It has a mixture of those two with like the the art design of Jet Set Radio, kind of, with like a mix of Persona 5 being in this like super stylized version of Japan, right? And so I don't know. This game, it got a official announcement trailer. It doesn't really show you too much. Like it doesn't show you what the game plans to do with like gameplay and all that, but it definitely gives you a feel about what this game's scope looks to be. And I'm excited personally. I've never beaten, let's say, The World Ends with You. I've definitely dabbled in the DS release, but I've always wanted to beat that game. I just never had the chance to. But yeah, this sequel looks dope. Have you seen this game yet?
I'm looking at it right now. I really
Yeah.
do like the art style. It looks really cool.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely stylized. It's got swag.
Yeah, the
Another thing with the first game, there was this thing about fashion and like Japanese culture and all that. And I definitely want to jump into Neo: The World Ends with You when that comes out. There's no release date. I think it's 2021 to be expected, but yeah, there's another thing to look forward to for the Switch. Going back to Smash Bros, number 5 on the news. We got a little doozy. So Nintendo has shut down a Smash Bros tournament called the Big House due to the use of unapproved rollback netcode. So the Big House has made a name for itself. It's one of the biggest competitive events for Smash Bros. And unfortunately, this year's tournament won't be happening as originally planned. It's the Big House was already forced to go online only in wake of the coronavirus pandemic, although the revised digital event was planned for early December. It has now been canceled entirely. The news comes following a cease and desist demand from Nintendo of America. Nintendo has taken issue with the use of Slippy, an unapproved rollback netcode that makes Super Smash Bros. Melee playable online. A statement shared by the Big House reads, "The Big House is heartbroken to share we've received a cease and desist from Nintendo of America, Inc. to cancel our upcoming online event. We were informed we do not have permission to host or broadcast the event primarily due to the usage of Slippy. Sadly, all our competitions are affected. We are forced to comply with the order and cancel the Big House online for both Melee and Ultimate. Refund information will be sent shortly. We apologize to all those impacted." This isn't the end of the news. We got a statement from Nintendo on their cancellation. Nintendo has now issued its own statement. You can read it full below. Okay. Nintendo appreciates the love and dedication the fighting game community has for the Super Smash Bros. Series. We have partnered with numerous Super Smash Bros. Tournaments in the past and have hosted our own online and offline tournaments for the game, and we plan to continue that support in the future. Unfortunately, the upcoming Big House tournament announced plans to host an online tournament for Super Smash Bros. Melee that requires the use of illegally copied versions of the game in conjunction with a mod called Slippy. Nintendo therefore contacted the tournament organizers to ask them to stop. They refused, leaving Nintendo no choice but to step in and to protect its intellectual property and brands. Nintendo cannot condone or allow piracy of its intellectual property. Brendan, what's your take on this?
I mean, it is a tough call. Nintendo absolutely while it is annoying, they absolutely do have the right to do that. It is their property. You are
Yeah, of course.
you're stealing it essentially. But I don't know, to do something like that in the middle of a pandemic where an in-person tournament just isn't possible in a game since it doesn't have an online component because it's so
Right.
old, and then to if they issued a newer version of the game, like they remade it like they did Mario with the ability to play online so that it was like the tournament could be held, I could understand their statement a little bit more. So it is hard to
Right.
make that claim when there's no possibility for this tournament to be held then.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
But
I
at the
think
end of the day, it is their intellectual property, which is
right,
annoying.
right. Like you said, Nintendo has all right to do this. I just think it's a bad move on their terms because of just I mean, the Smash community hasn't had the greatest light in recent times, but that community still exists, and there's definitely people who haven't done bad things that want to play Melee online, and there isn't any option like you said before. And for Nintendo to just shut it all down, this isn't really anything new. Like, Nintendo plays really hardball with their IPs. And if anyone doesn't know, there's like Nintendo ninjas that they're referred to. They're like businessmen for Nintendo who, crack down on, Team Executor and the likes of them who pirate games on the Switch or whatever. And Nintendo is just really big on that. And it's not really surprising. It's just like disappointing.
Yeah, for sure. It's a really tough situation from both sides. I really would like a Nintendo to announce that oh, we're working on addressing this issue so that it can be played off online so that this tournament could be held. But it's just not going to come.
Right. Another bummer poo poo parties kind of news story. Number 6 on the news. Nintendo shares Animal Crossing New Horizons usage guidelines for business and organizations. Quote, "We deeply appreciate that so many people around the world are having fun with Animal Crossing New Horizons for Nintendo Switch. Thank you for your support and for us helping build such a wonderful community. While our services and products are generally for personal use only, we understand there may be situations in which businesses and organizations would like to use or reference the game in relation to their business. As such, we would like to share a few guidelines with those businesses, organizations, and anyone representing them to preserve the experience for the millions of people enjoying the game recreationally. If we see your activity is not following these guidelines or is damaging or having bad influence on the community, we may ask you to stop such activity or usage of our contents and take appropriate actions, including prohibiting your future business usage of the game. Businesses and organizations may use the game in the following ways: providing your custom design and or dream address to other players, inviting other players to your island, uploading screenshots and or game footage to family-friendly websites and social network services. However, please observe the following points when you engage in these activities. Please be aware of the game rating and do not engage in activities that go beyond the rating. Please refrain from using the game inappropriately or creating any content within the game that would be considered vulgar, discriminatory, or offensive. Please also refrain from bringing politics into the game. Please do not share false information about the game with anyone, and do not deceive others while using the game, e.g., falsely indicating you are separately licensed or otherwise approved by Nintendo. Please do not leverage a game as a marketing platform that directs people to activities or campaigns outside the game, including directing people to a sales page, distributing coupons, sweepstakes, giveaways, requiring consumers to follow social network services accounts, gathering customers' information, or other invitational activities. You are not allowed to obtain any financial benefit from using the game. We may revise this message as the community changes. If you are interested in distributing your custom designs or other activities in relationship with your business, please refer to the latest version of this message. Please be aware that any applicable Nintendo Switch and Nintendo account agreements continue to apply. Any business use of the game that exceeds the rules set forth herein shall be permitted only with the separate and express written permission of Nintendo.
Interesting. That's a lot. That's a lot to unpack there.
I feel like there's something that sparked this guideline, right?
Yeah,
And
there has to be.
there's rumors that this guideline change was in result of political persuasion, not even persuasion, but there was a Joe Biden island, right? And I'm sure
Mhm.
there was a Trump one, but Joe Biden and his like management team and his marketing team made an island for players to like go in, and I don't even know what that island did, but I guess it was trying
It's a
to
political
persuade
tool to get
people.
attention from a younger generation.
Yeah, right. I don't really know what to think of this. Like it's like you said, like we said before in the last story with Slippy, the software with Melee's multiplayer. Nintendo definitely has the right to do this. Like we said, like it's their IP, it's their game. They could do whatever they want. But the fact that they're doing this is just kind of weird, right? Like it's kind of
Yeah.
a bummer for those that want to, do something that might get taken down because of certain guidelines now, right?
Yeah, and it definitely does affect content creators
Right.
on
That's what I
all
was thinking
platforms,
too.
I'm sure, cuz a lot of content creators who would like use this as like comedy and like even because this means that like even if your island isn't public to other people and you put something vulgar on it and you publish it on YouTube as a joke for your like comedy or content, it can be taken down by Nintendo for a violation of intellectual property, which they've always had the right to do. But I think it's more of like just a warning to like creators, like this is like something that we're taking seriously now.
Mm-hmm. I,
Which,
I'm, I don't know. Take for that what you will. Um,
yeah, it most of the time I feel like that's a little over the top and like freedom of
right, right.
expression always, but this we have to keep in mind that this is a game for a lot of kids, which means a lot of kids are going to be clicking content that's related to it. So like if kids are clicking content that is political or like does contain vulgar messages on accident, just searching up the game, that does create problems.
I
So
definitely agree with that side of things.
yeah, I can definitely see where Nintendo's coming from, not just from an IP event, but from like a like ethical like this is something that should be allowed. That does make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Now that you put it that way, I'm not so down on that kind of story. Number 7 actually on the news. We got a weird one. So Super Mario Bros. 3 variant breaks world record for most expensive game. A sealed variant for Super Mario Bros. 3 has set a new record for the highest price paid for a video game at auction. Earlier today, Heritage Auctions sold a seal copy for $156,000. Previously, Super Mario Bros. Held the record at $114,000, which had been set back in July. Not only was this copy of Super Mario Bros. 3 in top condition, but the packaging is extremely rare, as Heritage Auctions explains. While the condition of the game is remarkable, what makes this copy even more singular is the layout of the packaging itself. Exceedingly rare are sealed copies with the word Bros formatted to the left, covering one of Mario's signature white gloves. Collectors have spent years looking for such a version, the earliest in the Super Mario Bros. 3 production history, and usually come up empty handed. Also worth noting that a sealed copy of Pokemon Red, graded WATA 9.88++, I don't know what the fuck that means, sold for 84,000 as part of today's auction. So, damn, that auction must have been crazy. This is
That's a
actually
lot of money for
a
the word
hundred.
bros in a different place.
That's what I was about to say, bro. This not even consumer, but this collection, this collective like mindset that collectors have out there with like early production history and like different makes of certain games. Like, does the Bros on the left side really have $156,000 like merit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for
I mean,
those
if
people
you've got the
who are
money to spend though, and this is what you're really into, all to
right,
you.
right,
It's
right,
just
right,
it's
right.
just I don't know how it got up to that price. Like how many
That's
people are actually bidding on this is what's really shocking to me.
that would be a funny. I would want to be a fly in the wall for that conversation or that auction because
Yeah,
that would be
like I really want to know how many people were like who put down $100,000 and then another guy was like, I'll put down 150. You know,
I
because
bet
the bidding didn't start at 150. Somebody
no.
it had to have gotten up to that.
Right, right. That's I don't know what to say. Like this is the type of move where you remember when we talked about Logic buying 220 something $1,000 Charizard Pokemon cards.
Yeah,
Like this is to that extent, but just like a weirder sort of collector's item. Like the ultimate collector's item, I guess, for gamers. I don't know. But even if I just don't relate to that mindset, you know? Like I want to I want to buy games to play them. And I understand the history of it all, like the preservation and stuff, like with the sealed copy and the Bros on the white glove, like, oh, that's an early copy of the game and it's like in mint condition. But to have that sort of price tag on that box is just crazy to me.
yeah, for sure.
That's the most expensive game out there. 156,000. That's crazy. Some exciting news. Enough about all these downers. We got number 8. An aerial view of Super Nintendo World has leaked. So Super Nintendo World is pretty much ready to go at this point with construction having been all but completed. We now have a good look at the theme park from an aerial perspective thanks to a brief video. So, if anyone isn't familiar, Super Nintendo World is in collaboration with Universal Studios. So, it's basically a Nintendo theme park. And they've pretty much ended construction in Japan. And yeah, we got an aerial view of the place, just looking at all the sorts of, rides and all the amusements and all.
Oh
Have you
my
seen
god,
this,
dude.
Brendan?
I'm looking at it right now. I thought that was a
Yeah.
video game. That looks so cool.
Yo,
I legitimately thought that was like I'm like, wow, that's like a cool looking game. And then it's real.
right.
That's insane. That
This
actually looks
this
phenomenal.
the
Sorry, you
aerial
go.
view. No, no, no. You good. You good. But when it pans out, it's such like a departure from everything else around it. Like it's such a. It's
Yeah,
like
it's
it's
surrounded by
screaming.
all this
You know.
gray, and it has like these like animated pop colors. Like the red on like that one mushroom I'm looking at is just
Yep.
so
Yep.
sharp compared to everything else around it. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
So for the listeners out there, I'm gonna explain this as best I can, and I'm sorry if I butcher it, but there seems to be Peach's castle in one of the corners. There seems to be Bowser's castle in one of them. It's a lot of Mario stuff. I see a little bit of the some Donkey Kong esque like tropical areas in like the Leftern region. There's some sort of like snowy thing near the Bowser's castle. I'm not really sure what the results of this is gonna be, but I know that I want to join. I want to visit this. I want to experience this. Like this looks like a dream to me.
Gamer Goombas field trip.
Oh, yeah. Come on. You thought we were gonna miss out on this Super Nintendo world? We're going to Japan, everybody.
Dude,
This
I'd
is
actually be so down. Japan would be so sick.
oh, of course. That's like literally before I die, I must go to Tokyo before I die.
Dude,
Not even
I have
Tokyo, but
off
Japan
next
in
year. Next year's my gap year. We can go during winter break when you have
general.
school.
Bro, I am so fucking down. If COVID isn't prevalent, I mean it's still being managed in Japan to be honest, but they probably don't want any Americans pulling up. But
Hey,
if
I mean,
COVID
with that vaccine coming out, we should be set to go to Japan.
right, right. If everything works out, Gamer Goombas will go to Super Nintendo World.
There
You
you
heard it
go.
here first, folks. So yeah, be on the lookout for Super Nintendo World. That shit looks fire. Are you a fan of amusement parks, Brennan?
Oh my god, yeah.
I feel like the rides are really overrated. I feel like it's just like such like a fun atmosphere. Like it's really like the best way to break yourself from like the everyday, because you get to go
Right.
to this place where like it's just it's totally distanced from any form of reality or work or like real life situation for me as like someone who lives no like the most mundane life.
Right, right. I fuck with the rides. I definitely agree with like that atmosphere sense of like just freeing. Like there's really nothing to worry about when you pull up there. Like, oh, the chicken fingers are $20. Like, yeah, that's to be expected, you know? Like
Yeah, it's
this
annoying, but like when you see Mickey Mouse, it's time to go crazy.
right, exactly, exactly. And what do you oh my god, speaking of Mickey Mouse and like all those characters, imagine a Yoshi in Super
Dude, I'm
World.
taking my picture with the toads. I'm gonna get like the full rainbow, just like gotta get them
Oh
all.
my god.
That's gonna be so cool.
Bro, this is my dream job now. I'm telling this to Nintendo of America, Nintendo of Japan, Nintendo of Europe. I don't care who's listening. I would love to be you don't have to pay me by the way. I just want to do this. I want to be in the Yoshi suit. I want to be the Yoshi. All
That'd be
right?
so cool.
It doesn't even have to be like a just call me whenever, Nintendo, all right? You got my number, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, cool.
Dude, honestly, Shy Guys have like always been my favorite Mario character, and I really want to know what like a 6 foot Shy Guy costume is gonna look like one that's professionally made by Nintendo.
Right. Like
That's gonna
this
be so interesting because that could be really scary if they don't do it right.
yeah. There's a lot of potential in Super Nintendo World and I'm very excited to see the final result. And like it looks kind of small from like the aerial view, but when you're inside that place,
Packed with
it's
detail.
probably overwhelming to be honest.
Yeah,
Like looking at Bowser's castle, looking at like the height of that shit, like same with Peach's castle, like that. Like we've all been there in Mario 64, Mario Odyssey or whatever, but to have that in real life, like that's like that would kind of bring a tear to my eye, no cap. I know that's really nerdy to say and shit, but like
No, it's dope, dude. It is. It is. It's really
that shit
cool.
would be fucking crazy. So yeah, more to come with Super Nintendo World in the upcoming future. But this is the part in the podcast where we talk about what we've been playing. So Brendan, I know you've been busy with school and dentistry and all that. So it's all good if you haven't played anything, but have you in recent days played
Not
any?
really, to be honest. I've been behind
So you
stuff's
haven't
tough.
touched the Switch. When's the last time you touched the Switch?
Probably 3 weeks now. It's bad.
Holy.
It's been
No,
bad.
it's not bad. You got your priorities straight, bro. That's just like a long time for me, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
having played like every I don't think like the longest I like there's definitely months and there's definitely breaks that I take from gaming, but it's definitely a mainstay in my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So, I've been playing not much either. I've been busy with work. I've been I don't know, I've just been lazy the couple of weeks, but I did roll the credits on No More Heroes.
How did
So
that
I
end?
so I talked about this game last episode, like my early impressions on it. I rolled the credits a few weeks, not a few weeks, a few days ago. The ending is really weird. It's not surprising cuz the whole game is weird, but like it broke the fourth wall in a way that I won't spoil, but it's just so off-putting. You know what I mean? Like I mean, you don't know what I mean obviously because you haven't played it and you haven't experienced it, but there's this fourth wall break that just no other game or not, I'm not going to say that, but there's just very few games do to this day. And there's
That sounds
like
like
a
it would
lot.
be pretty difficult to make like successful.
Right,
Because
right.
like the
Like,
whole point of the game is to get this level of immersion, and then to break that at the very end, it would have to
dude,
be pretty crazy.
it was so off-putting. Like there was so much story being thrown at you, and the weird thing about it was that like the fourth wall breaking is a part of the story, and like the story is just I don't. All right, spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. Just scroll 15 seconds or 30 seconds if you don't want to hear this. But at the end of the game, they say like a bunch of integral like narrative plot, right?
Mhm.
And like Travis, the main character is like, "Can you speed it up a little bit, right?" And then the game literally like fast forwards while they like explain the narrative. What's the
That's
point?
not worth it for the joke. That is
It
not worth it for the joke.
it it was really off-putting, and I was just like kind of thrown out. I'm not thrown out, but I was like thrown off by like how weird and like how stupid it was, you know?
Yeah.
There's there's some ending problems too that I missed out on. So when you save the game in this game in No More Heroes, Travis like sits on the toilet and then just does his thing while like the game saves. It's kind of like a joke, I guess. Haha, like he's shitting or he's pissing, but I don't know. There's this stupid like real ending, right? Where if you get every single lightsaber, I mean not lightsaber. So in this game, Travis's weapon is a beam katana, which is basically a lightsaber.
Uh huh.
But there's three more versions of the weapon that you can get, like you could purchase and upgrade him as the game progresses. And if you have all four weapons, right? There's this real ending that pops up whenever you save the game at the end. And I got all four weapons. And when I saved the game, the real ending showed up, but I couldn't click on it. So I had no other choice but to like play New Game Plus, right? And just start another save, I guess.
Are you serious?
So I missed out on the real ending. And for those who don't care, I'm spoilers again, spoilers again. You guys might not be interested in this. I'm sorry. But the real ending of the game. I mean, the ending I got was that. So are you familiar with No More Heroes, Brendan?
Not much.
Okay, so the main plot is like there's this assassins guild, right?
Mhm.
And Travis reaches the top of the top, like the number one assassin in the world at the end of the game. And then while he takes his shit to like save the game at the end, there's this cutscene that plays. There's this dude in a business suit that pops up, slices Travis's bathroom door while Travis is doing his thing, and then he wants to kill Travis to be like the number one assassin, right?
Mhm.
And then Travis replies with, "Are you shitting me?" Just a nice like callback to what he's doing. And then the game rolls credits. Like it's that quick. It's like the dude pops up, slices a thing. He's trying to kill Travis. Travis says, "Are you shitting me?" The credits
They
roll.
ended on a poop joke.
Right. Like this is how kind of cringy this game is.
That's
Uh
bad,
it
dude.
it also released in like a long time ago, maybe 2008, 2007, but the real ending of this game is that there would be a boss fight. Like you would have to fight this dude at the end. Like I think in Travis's motel. And so for me to miss out on that, it just like soured my whole experience with the game, you know?
Damn.
Like this game,
You know, that would be annoying to
no.
say the least.
Yeah, yeah. So I felt like I didn't do this game justice when explaining it last time, but I just want to throw out a little something for y'all if you actually are interested in this game. So this dude, Suda51, right? This developer, his name's Goichi Suda, but his like stage name, I guess, is Suda51. And so he worked on Super Fire Pro Wrestling, a Super Famicom game, and he calls back that game a lot in No More Heroes with like some gameplay mechanics and like in Travis's wheelhouse in his combat, like there's finishing moves where he would like DDT someone or like pile drive them or like he'll do like a lot of wrestling moves to like finish him off. And those are very satisfying, but they're not really like they're satisfying to watch, but they're not satisfying to feel.
Yeah.
Every single boss fight, right? There's this little wrestling mask waiting for you before you head into that boss fight that gives you like a new wrestling move to use. So at the end of the game, you have just a bunch of wrestling move finishers, which is awesome. And
That's
it's
pretty
a nice
cool.
callback to what Suda51 previously worked on. But I don't know. This game just left a sour taste in my mouth with the ending. We said before that it was like an action game at its core with some light RPG elements, but I kind of want to take that away. I kind of want to take that sentiment away because going back to it recently, it's definitely an action game. That is something tried and true that it wears on its sleeve, to be honest.
Mm.
But the RPG elements are more of like a collectible sort of like gameplay style. Like it's not an RPG in the sense of like using moves and like turn-based combat. It's more of like a 3D platformer collectible, like kind of like Mario in the sense that there's a ton of shit that Travis can collect throughout the game. Like there's 100 or something t-shirts that you could find in dumpsters around the game. You just like kick a dumpster and like a t-shirt pops up. There's a bunch of like glasses, jackets, belts, shirts, jeans that you could buy at a store called Area 51 with like a UFO sticking out of the store. Um, I don't know. This game has charm. It's got swag, but like, just left a sour taste in my mouth with that
Mm.
ending shit. I don't know. Like, I enjoyed playing it, but then I also enjoyed like deleting it from the Switch. You know, like I'm like I'm done with it. You know,
Yeah, for sure.
I got the sequel, and I plan to play that probably on my Christmas break or something. But I've heard that the sequel isn't as good as the original, so I'm kind of hesitant to play it. I don't know. But yeah, that's the only game I've been playing other than Rocket League. Just jumping into that every now and then. There is one game that I purchased on Black Friday, which is Fire Emblem Three Houses. I
Ooh.
never got Fire Emblem. The only game I played in the series is Fire Emblem Awakening on the 3DS, and
Uh,
that game really blew me away because of how different it was from any other Nintendo series. Like the strategy and like the tile sort of like strategic combat. Like there's plenty of games like this, like Final Fantasy Tactics. Like it's tactical strategy. You know what I mean? There's
yeah.
like a bunch of war and soldiers fighting, but it also has a lot to do with fantasy and spells and all that. And Fire Emblem Three Houses is just an amalgamation of everything Fire Emblem did before and just excelling on that and like going over 9,000 with all that shit. And so I'm definitely gonna talk about my impressions next episode, but also this game is long as fuck. So you might not hear me finish it until like 2021, like 2022 type shit.
Yeah, one of my roommates played that for like he was playing it for months last year, like actual just like months. He played that for.
Yeah, I feel like I have to devote myself just to that game. And there's definitely a bunch of other games that are on my to-do list to go through during this holiday break and all that. But yeah,
Mhm.
I'm gonna try and tackle that one, or maybe like over a long period of time, just go through it. But I don't know. But that's what we've been playing. Now it is time to go to the eShop drop. Beep boop beep boop. Okay. So Brendan, do you have a game that you would like to shout out?
No, I don't. I'll shout out Fortnite.
Take
It's a
that
really
back.
good game. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. It's like this game where you can build like in Minecraft and shoot like in Call of Duty. It's pretty cool.
Wait. You said Fortnite?
Yeah.
Wait, I think I heard about that one.
Oh, really?
That's the one where you like shoot like Call of Duty and you like build like Minecraft, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh yeah. I know what you one you're talking about. Is that one is it good?
Um, I like the part where I win and it says winner, winner, chicken dinner, but I don't like when I die.
What happens when you die?
Um, Tyler Blevin comes to your house and tells you you're trash.
I'm weak, bro. I am weak as fuck. Joking aside, Fortnite's a crazy game to be honest.
It
It's
did
literally
really well for a long time.
it's literally a Marvel game now. Have you seen what they've done with it?
I haven't, not in a while. I haven't heard about anything in Fortnite since the Travis Scott concert.
We know that Fortnite's kind of like a controversial thing to like, oh, you're hopping on the bandwagon. Oh, this game's for little kids. Oh, this it's a shit game. But I'm not the one to hate on it. Like I appreciate the fact that it's a free game. I appreciate the fact that there's there's a lot of gameplay elements that are exclusive to that game and that are like the fact that Fortnite made crossplay a thing. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
do you know the story of that?
I don't know the exact story. I remember that coming out though, and that was just was that the first game ever to like have that on that scale?
Yeah, so if anyone's not aware, there were these two players on Fortnite, right? There was one on PS4, one on Xbox. They were trying to see if they could play with each other, right? And I guess that crossplay, like the Switch was turned on for a certain amount of time, and they like saw each other in game and like recorded it, sent it to Epic and all that, and then they just shut it off immediately. But once Pandora's box is opened, right, you can't close that shit. So later on, I think a week or two later, Fortnite was like, "Yeah, this is a thing. Like, it's really easy to do, and we're gonna do it now." And then PlayStation was kind of hesitant to like join the bandwagon. Nintendo and Microsoft were really like pushing that. We were like, "Oh yeah, we'll let other people from other consoles play with us." But PlayStation had to like accept at the end of the day. Like months later they were like, "Fuck it, we'll join too," because there's a lot of player bases out there and Fortnite's a big game and Epic was kind of like telling PlayStation, "We're going to take the game off of your console if you don't like allow this." So Fortnite just swung their huge dick on the table and everyone just, you know,
Gobbled it
licked
up.
it. Yeah, they gobbled it. There's a lot of games on the Switch eShop, as we all know. From being Switch players, we might get a little overwhelmed when opening the Switch eShop. But there's a lot of great games out there. And I just want to shout out one that people might not expect or people might not be aware of. So I like to shout out. Wait a sec. Drum roll, please.
I'm doing another one.
I'd like to shout out Zelda Breath of the Wild.
There we go. Has no one
So I
shouted
don't
that out yet?
No, I don't know if anyone's heard of this game. It's kind of a niche product. There's this dude named Link. There's this guy, he has a sword and he picks up lots of them during this game. So the game's like weapon durability is like a big part of Breath of the Wild.
So it's a
Each
game
weapon
about collecting swords.
No. There's a lot of this franchise, The Legend of Zelda. You might not know it. It's kind of like a niche series. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of callbacks to the series' legacy and all that. There's a lot of flashbacks in literal terms with this dude named Link. So I don't really know best to explain it. I think Luke would be better off doing it, but yeah, this game's pretty good. I mean, it's what
It's
I've
not game
been.
of the year or anything.
No,
Is that what
no,
you're
no.
saying?
Jokes
Gotcha.
aside, we know Fortnite's big. We know Breath of the Wild's big. I don't really got an eShop game to shout out. And that's the episode 6, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed. You know, share this with your grandmother, okay? Even if she's dead, I want you to dig her up from her grave, and I want you to put your AirPod in her skeletal frame, and she will smile from the great beyond. That was very uncalled for, and I apologize for anyone who felt hurt from that statement.
Hey, if PewDiePie can have dead subscribers, so can we.
Wait, does he? He has dead subscribers?
You really think all those accounts are 100% active and real?
How much subscribers does PewDiePie have?
I think he's close to like one. He surpassed 100 million a bit ago.
Can we all agree that that's way too much for one person to have?
Oh, it's an insane amount. He's at 108 right now.
That's 1/3 of the U.S. population.
Yeah, no,
Considering that facts are true about like the census and all that.
yeah.
That's fucking insane, bro.
There's no way that all of those are real. No way.
Yeah, there's definitely like a nice majority of them are bots or like
Yeah,
Russian spies.
I
But
bet.
yeah,
I bet.
if you enjoy what you heard today, subscribe to Gamer Goombas and Nintendo Podcasts on all podcast platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify, we're on Google, whatever. We're on Anchor, we're on YouTube now. So subscribe at Gamer Goombas there. Yeah, if you liked it, just support the show. Share it with a friend or two. If they enjoy games or if they don't, just if they want a little laugh, if they want a little noise in the back of their head while they sleep, we just want some support, so give us some support. But yeah, this has been episode 6. I love you. Take care, guys. We're
Peace.
out.